If you're a practice owner looking to add 3D technology to your practice, maybe to place implants, diagnose endo, or just enhance what you do, is there a reason to buy a used CBCT? I'm here with Nate Hudson of Renew Digital, an awesome key resource and sponsor, and he's going to share with us what Renew Digital does and how you can get a CBCT for a more affordable price. Thanks for being here, Nate. Let us know, what does Renew Digital do?
Yeah, great question. And thanks so much for having us. So thankful to be part of the Dental Nachos team here as a sponsor. So, man, you bring up a great question. And there's only three ways that we've ever heard about doctors bringing home more dollars at the end of the day, right? Not that patients are price tags, let's be clear. However, you can increase efficiency, you can lower overhead, but at the end of the day, you also have to broaden procedural codes that you can bill for. And what is the one thing that would facilitate that? Oftentimes it's cone beam, especially if you're doing any specialty procedures or you're bringing in a specialist once to 4 times a month to be able to keep that revenue in-house. So yeah, and then another, just a couple notes on that is we want to be incredibly relevant. So when you sell a pre-owned product, oftentimes people are like, oh man, but how old is it? This is crazy. Like, why would I buy a pre-owned deal? Is this legal? I don't know. So with that, a lot of people don't understand that 2D and 3D radiography on the hardware side plateaued around 2011 to 2013, depending upon brand. So when we couple that with installation, training, warranty, the newest 3D imaging software, and a 3D computer, in some states require physicist review, we include that. And we can do it at 30 to 50% off of what a new.
I love that. I mean, I always think it's like Toy Story for CBCTs. You give it more life, right?
Yeah.
I have the iPhone. I don't think this is 11. What happens to my iPhone 6? I got to put it in a drawer for when I drop this one in water, which will probably happen. But, it just sits there. But now you can bring new life to these CBCTs and let them live on in the practices of people where it makes sense. So let's talk more about that. Tell us, we have a CBCT in our office. We got a couple of years ago. Let's just use a number of a brand new CBCT. People are going to invest $75,000 to $100,000. I know some can be more, maybe less. What are people investing in your certified pre-owned CBCTs? Think of it like a car. What can you get people into a CBCT for with a certified pre-owned deal?
I love the car analogy. And I oftentimes refer to Tesla because we update the firmware and the software, and the 0 to 60 is like 2.2 seconds faster, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes the pricing is around $24,900 plus tax in your shipping. And then it goes up from there depending upon what your requirements or your procedures are that you're providing.
But that's just really, it's such a great share because we're all out there, practice owners trying to make it work, and to be more flexible on what the investment is for $25,000 to start to add this to your practice. Maybe you buy a second practice. Maybe, like you said, you just bought a practice and your working capital is running out. You don't want to stress yourself. So this is just such a great option. What we do at Nachos, bring toppings to dentists that make sense. So if someone watched, my grandmother, Nate, told me I was the most interesting person in the world, not if everyone agrees. So if they just watched to this point and they said, I'm in, I want to find out more about what Nate does, how can they reach out to you to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. They can call us and we'll provide that information here on the show. Or you can email us as well at dentalnachos@renewdigital.com. And we would be delighted to assist. Now, we don't make recommendations just based on, hey, what's a CBCT cost?
Right.
Because prescription before diagnosis is a malpractice.
Well, just like the car analogy too, though, I mean, what dentists think they might need or want turns out differently when they learn more about it, right? If you're going to have a child soon, and I have 2 children, that smash those goldfish crackers in the back of the car, getting a fancy sports car for 2 people doesn't make sense. So like you said, finding out your needs, the use, what you want to use it for, so important. And I'm in a JFO, just find out type of guy. So they can email dentalnachos@renewdigital.com to find out more about this. Now, before we wrap up, Nate, I like success stories. Tell us about some of your clients, because you're in sales, where they weren't even sure they wanted it. And they say, Nate, I'm use this every day. Or I know our people, the dentists, Nate, they're a little on the frugal side. So they say, sure, I don't know if I should spend this. And now it wound up making them money. Do you have any success stories like that?
Absolutely. So, man, started out early on, and I had a doctor who's like, man, I'm placing like 1 to 3 implants a month, but I do the simple ones. I don't want to mess around with anything that's complicated. So I'm like, well, cool. Well, why don't you do more? And he was super offended. And I was like apologizing all over the place. And he was like, well, bottom line, I can't see where they're going. So I'm like, got ya. I mean, what would cone beam cost in the scheme of not having people walk out of the office or revenue leaving when they really need the actual implant or endo or so at any rate, he went from 80 grand a month in collections. This is almost unbelievable, but he does $460,000 a month.
Wow,
And
that's
he runs
awesome.
his own university now. So I think CBCT is pretty important,
Yeah.
helpful.
I mean, listen, I've been a dentist for 18 years. When you can add something fun, and I will actually totally admit that we were slow on the uptake with CBCT. We had a periodontist, we had me. We would use the mobile imaging ones. We said that was good for the big cases, but now that we're doing it, we find out interesting things because we have a history of implants in our practice and endo that goes back 30 or 40 years. So we find out interesting things like, hey, this implant needs more attention, or this root canal we need to look into more. So it's just been an awesome practice builder, a patient builder. It's made things more fun for us. So glad to have you guys as a key resource and sponsor. Nate, just share one more time. Someone's listening. They want to say, I want to find out now. What's that email address for them to email?
Sure. Contact us at dental nachos. My apologies. Dental nachos at renewdigital.com.
Awesome. You can always reach out to us right directly at